Nightly News. Your favorite dining place on campus is getting a major renovation.
And where in Central New York can you see the best fall foliage this fall break?
Plus, SUNY Oswego's president has a major budget update.
WTOP-10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Ayla Snyder. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Ayla Snyder.
And I'm Piper Kiernan.
SUNY Oswego is making strides towards financial improvement after facing a significant budget deficit in 2023. The university previously faced a shortfall of around $5.5 million, which has now been reduced to around $2 million. An improvement in the budget deficit is crucial for funding academic programs, facilities, and faculty positions.
As SUNY Oswego's president Peter O. Wosu said in an email to the campus community, high enrollment numbers from new incoming students this semester gave the college a much-needed budget boost. According to President Wosu, the university will also receive support from the SUNY system for college operations, student internships, and research.
Earlier today, the Moreno Campus Center hosted its first Dream Big career internship and graduate school fair. The event offered a number of networking opportunities for students, alumni, and employers from Central New York. Students were able to explore career options, have professional photos taken, and present their resumes to a number of representatives from a wide range of careers.
One of the Oswego Speedway's biggest weeks of the year began yesterday with the 52nd annual Super Dirt Week. Joining the week festivities, a special event was held earlier today on the Oswego campus. Start Your Engines was an engaging network opportunity that aimed to help students learn about the business of motorsports. The event featured racers, social media officers, and directors from racing events around the country. Those looking to attend the races this week can purchase tickets online or in person at the Oswego Speedway.
As SUNY Oswego's fall break approaches, there will be many prime opportunities for foliage viewing in Oswego County. Although the western part of the state is seeing a later development in leaf color transformation than the eastern part, Oswego County is experiencing one of the higher change rates in the western region. The Pulaski, Sandy Creek, and Altmar areas are the best places to go see the brightest fall colors in the leaves. And if you don't mind a little bit of the drive, the Adirondacks region will approach peak fall foliage this week.
A new look for a portion of Moreno Campus Center. Campus leaders say in efforts to better meet the needs of the university, the Campus Center food court is undergoing renovations. Work on the area is expected to take place over the next several months. Cafes are expected to remain open during the time. Renovations include improved seating options, sound quality enhancement, and built-in charging stations, which as SUNY Oswego student Zuzu Evans says could have come in handy for him.
I actually did, a couple weeks ago, have a time where I needed to charge my Chromebook in here and I did not have a charging station. So I think it would be, those sound like good renovations.
Campus leaders say a portion of the renovations are expected to be completed over fall break.
Last night, we had several sightings of Aurora Borealis. I was fortunate enough to watch it and it was beautiful. Right off Ontario Lake, the sky lit up with mixes of purple, pink, and green. Were you able to catch a glimpse of it, Piper?
No, I was sleeping by then.
I know, I think it was around 10:30.
Yep, sleep.
It was pretty late.
Let's check with our Storm Team 10 meteorologist, David Rienzo, if we'll be able to see another Northern Lights again tonight.
Unfortunately, tonight may be too cloudy to catch anything. We've had a lot of rain today, so those clouds are still sticking around and will continue into tomorrow. You can see temperatures around the area still pretty cool with some stronger winds, although we did have a couple people view the aurora last night. This was our own Christopher Convis of Storm Team 10. He captured this last night around 11 p.m. We've had a couple days where this sort of potential has been there, and thankfully last night it was absolutely stunning if you were lucky enough to get out there. But there was another event just this morning. We did see a water spout over the lake this morning, and a couple more popped up in the afternoon today. This was also taken by Chris this morning, and I saw a couple next to each other earlier today, just a few hours ago. But another big important story has been Hurricane Milton. This is right in the Gulf Coast and continuing into Florida later today. It's already one of the most intense hurricanes in the Atlantic Basin in recorded history, with a central pressure around 905 millibars. I'll have more information in my full forecast, but first, back to you guys at the desk.
David, thank you. More than 2,000 buildings in the Syracuse neighborhood could soon be undergoing renovations. The Westcott University neighborhood submitted its nomination to the National Register of Historic Places in September of 2017. The Syracuse Historic Preservation Office is scheduled to nominate properties in December. If the neighborhood is accepted onto the register, residents would then be able to accept help from the city in the event of renovations. The historic district would include more than 2,000 buildings and over 700 garages, making it 8 times bigger than Syracuse's current largest existing historic district.
The Oswego Reading Initiative has announced 6 finalists for its annual challenge. The Summer Reading Initiative culminates in an author and panel discussion in the following semester. This year's finalists are Beast of a Little Land by Julia Kim, Braiding Sweetgrass for Young Adults by Robin Wall Kimmerer, Easy Beauty by Chloe Cooper Jones, James by Percival Everett, What Strange Paradise by Omar El Akkad, and Year of No Garbage by Eve Shaw. Students are asked to vote to select their favorite book by October 20th.
Still ahead tonight, just days after Hurricane Helene, find out the latest on the next hurricane threatening Florida.
Plus, WTOP-10 reporter Joe Seidman has details on an event that was held on campus yesterday to remember the anniversary of the Hamas attack on Israel.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No,
right
but you've
here.
got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
Roll it.
Jill
Should we
told me it
tell
was
him?
Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.
Back. I'm Chief Meteorologist David Rienzo. Right now in Oswego, it's still pretty cloudy out there, but there is a slight chance of the aurora if those clouds do dissipate, so keep an eye on the skies for tonight. It's a little chilly out there at 53, and the winds are a little strong, but that's nothing compared to the top speeds that Hurricane Milton hit just yesterday, where it reached 180 miles per hour. It's already a Category 5. It reached Category 5 yesterday. Well, the day started out as a tropical storm. It already intensified to a Category 5. Now, this is going to continue to move into the Florida Panhandle, reaching Tampa Bay by midday tomorrow, and then moving out of the Panhandle by the end of the day on Thursday. Now, what the threat with this hurricane is, well, there's, of course, the incredibly strong winds and heavy rain also comes the threat of storm surge, or the flooding associated with these strong winds. So normally you've got the sea level around here, but when you have strong winds blowing this ocean water onto the land, you get a couple feet of flooding. When Hurricane Helene moved through, they expected about 6 feet of flooding through most of Florida. Now, with Hurricane Milton moving through, Tampa is expecting over 12 feet of rain, almost 2 stories of flood water in Tampa Bay by the end of the day tomorrow. So this is the biggest threat with Hurricane Milton, I apologize. Now, in our area, we have seen a couple of rain with some lake effect earlier today, and this will continue as the day continues into tomorrow, where we're seeing some really chilly weather and storms throughout most of the day tomorrow. You can see it's starting out very chilly, getting only a few degrees by middle of the day, and then becoming exceptionally breezy by the end of the day on Wednesday. You can see the future cast by the middle of the day on Wednesday, by the evening time on Wednesday, gusts as high as 26 miles per hour on Wednesday, and even into Wednesday night into Thursday. Now, after all this moves through, the chance of rain is exceptionally high tomorrow, but then we're looking much drier into our fall break. So tonight we're staying cool at a low of 45, and even into tomorrow we'll stay cool with some rain associated through the entire day and a high around 56. Nothing too warm, but those temperatures will start to rise as we move into the weekend. You can see Friday much warmer at 66, with the sun also coming out Friday and Saturday for a lovely fall break if you are staying in Oswego. That's all for my forecast. Now back to the desk.
Yesterday marked the one-year anniversary of the Hamas October 7th attack on Israel. Palestinian militant group Hamas killed over 1,200 Israelis and took more than 200 hostages.
In response to Hamas' terror attack, Israel's war in Gaza has killed more than 41,000 Palestinians and displaced nearly 2.2 million residents in the Strip. College campuses in the U.S. have especially been a flashpoint for pro-Palestinian protests and calling for a ceasefire in the region. Joe Seidman has more on the Oswego campus response 1 year later.
Thanks, Ayla and Piper. Yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of when the Israel-Palestine conflict began. Since that moment, the conflicts between Gaza and Israel have left a lot of uncertainty. This uncertainty has led to college campuses across the nation to push for change. That includes the SUNY Oswego campus. Many students feel that campuses are not doing enough to help those being affected by the issues. Professor Lisa Glidden has observed the campus's response over the past year at SUNY Oswego.
There have been a lot of crackdowns on many college campuses against the right to speech, to assemble, how students can assemble. We had changes to our campus policy over the course of the summer that we were made aware of when we got back.
Almost 24 students were present at an assembly earlier, which took place yesterday. The group expressed their views in front of one another, and pamphlets were also handed out to supporters. The students stated that until the conflict comes to an end, these assemblies will likely continue across all college campuses. Back to you guys at the desk.
As we get ready for the November election, swing state voting is being challenged. Republicans are challenging mail-in voting while Democrats have been waging legal fights to make sure these votes are counted. While swing states are still using mail-in and absentee ballots, Republicans are threatening lawsuits as they believe that is not trustworthy.
Hurricane Milton is now a Category 5 hurricane. Even though it is forecast to weaken before it makes landfall, it will double in size.
The sudden increase in size means that hurricanes' already disastrous impacts will be felt over a much larger area. Ivan Rodriguez is in Tampa with the latest on the storm and evacuation efforts.
If you choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you're going to die.
Dire warning from the mayor of Tampa as authorities beg people to evacuate ahead of Hurricane Milton. Many heeding the message.
Lines at gas stations have been long. Gas stations are running out quicker than they otherwise would.
Florida highways have been crammed with what some state officials expect could be the largest evacuation since 2017's Hurricane Irma. The storm is projected to weaken and make landfall as a Category 3 near the Tampa area on Wednesday, packing 120-mile-per-hour winds. Its dangerous eye and eye wall could come ashore anywhere from Cedar Key in the north to Naples in the south.
Been to the point where I'm literally looking at every item in our home and deciding, do I take it or do I leave it? And the thought of it just floating in the water somewhere, it's really hard to bear.
Many are spending the little time that is left before Milton arrives, collecting sandbags and boarding up properties.
Aileen was very close for us to be a disaster. We are trying to prepare as much as possible. I don't know if it's going to make a difference, but at least we will be able to say that we did everything we could.
In Tampa, I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Following the effects of Hurricane Helene, many Florida residents are preparing to evacuate the area as Milton approaches. Two American
professors at the University of Toronto and the University of Princeton just accepted the Nobel Prize in Physics for AI research. Geoffrey Hinton and John Hopfield made vital discoveries that allow machine learning of artificial neural networks. This network is modeled after the structure of the human brain, and it will help process data. This historic revelation is a big reason why we can use artificial intelligence in our daily lives. When WTOP-10 Nightly News continues, learn about a new lawsuit filed against TikTok.
And turbulence within America's largest French fry manufacturer, and all of that and more right after this.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
The Kinda Late Show with Chloe and Anna. Like licorice, Twizzlers, absolutely nasty. The thought of turkey is just nauseating. I think you're wrong, is what I think. You think I'm wrong a lot of times. I do think you're wrong a lot.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
In consumer news,
14 states have sued TikTok over the app allegedly using an addictive and unsafe algorithm for children. The suit says that TikTok's For You page is designed solely to keep minors on the platform for as long as possible and is schemed to increase revenue. The states also allege that the app's beauty filters can cause body image and mental health issues in children.
In potential good news for health, but bad news for the food industry, French fry manufacturers Lamb Weston is laying off almost 400 employees. Decreased French fry demand has also caused the company to close a Washington state plant. McDonald's, who are Lamb Weston's largest customer, is using value meals in an attempt to regain customers, but the small sizes of these meals are not doing so much to help out Lamb Weston.
Getting your blood pressure checked is more important than you think. According to the CDC, nearly 120 million adults have high blood pressure with little to no symptoms. If left untreated, high blood pressure can put you at risk of heart disease, stroke, and other significant health issues. Mandy Gather has more on how to properly be positioned when measuring blood pressure for the most accurate results.
At a doctor's appointment, it's one of the first things you have done. Knowing your blood pressure is a critical part of health, but researchers say some readings may not be right.
In order to diagnose hypertension, the first step is getting an accurate blood pressure measurement. Inaccurate measurements, whether in the clinic or in the home, can lead to misdiagnosis or either over or under treatment.
Dr. Tammy Brady with the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine is senior author of a study which finds that having your arm in the wrong position during blood pressure checks, whether at home or in the doctor's office, can result in significantly higher readings.
It's not just putting on a cuff and pushing a button.
To get the most accurate readings, Brady says your arm should not be on your lap. It should also not be dangling unsupported at your side. Instead, it should be resting like this at chest height. Before the blood pressure is checked, she says to empty your bladder, avoid exercise, tobacco, nicotine, and alcohol for at least 30 minutes beforehand. Sit with your back supported, feet on the floor, and be free of distractions so that you can relax.
And then ideally, you would take 2 to 3 measurements, 30 to 60 seconds apart, and take the average of those measurements. And that part's important because everyone's blood pressure varies minute to minute, beat to beat. And in order to get closer to the truth, you want an average of those measurements.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Brady hopes her studies raise awareness for the need for recertification of blood pressure measurement practices.
The iconic Spooky Spirit Halloween chain will be turning jolly this holiday season. 10 Spirit Christmas store pop-ups will be opening throughout the Northeast. Its first location in Mays Landing, New Jersey, is set to open doors on October 18th. The other 9 pop-ups will have their grand openings sometime in early November. Guests can wander through a life-size gingerbread village, meet Santa, and receive a free digital postcard featuring them with Santa, as well as shop for Christmas decorations and gifts. Now in sports, Luke Bellinger has the latest about the SUNYAC Runner of the Week.
For the second time of the season, Faith Coyle is your SUNYAC Runner of the Week for cross country. This past weekend, the women's and men's cross country teams traveled to Fredonia University, and Faith finished second overall, only behind one RIT runner. She had an outstanding time of 23:01. Coyle looks to keep the legs turning on October 19th as the women traveled to Geneseo for the SUNY Geneseo Invitational. Coming up after the break, our sports anchor Jaden Jiggets will be with you to talk about some soccer and football news.
What's going on?
Yeah, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
No.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Yeah, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30?
Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa. You know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow. Get a close up of that one.
Matthew,
Broadcast news.
look at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
We'll deep dive into our feelings in our Real Talk segment. Stay tuned because it's about to get real.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your sports anchor, Jaden Jiggets, here with WTOP-10 Nightly News. To start off tonight's sports news, Oswego's men's soccer will be playing at home tomorrow against SUNY Cortland. The Lakers, who are undefeated at home so far this season, are looking to keep their record positive against the Red Dragons, who they lost to last season in their matchup, coming up short 3-1. Game time tomorrow will be at 4 p.m. Staying with soccer, Oswego women's soccer will also face SUNY Cortland tomorrow, but they will be traveling on the road. The Lakers, coming into this game 6-4 on the season, will look to keep their strong momentum going as they are coming off back-to-back shutout games. Game time for this matchup will also be at 4 p.m. Moving into the Qs, congratulations to Syracuse Orange football player Fidel Diggs for receiving the National Defensive Player of the Week award. Diggs came up big for his team in their last matchup on Friday against the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, recording 2 sacks and 6 tackles in their 44-41 overtime win. The senior defensive end is also leading all Syracuse defensive linemen with an average of 5.4 tackles per game. Moving into the NFL, former Jets head coach Robert Saleh ends up becoming the first head coach to be fired in the 2024 regular season after 5 weeks. The team's record so far is 2 wins and 3 losses. They are also coming off of a loss in London 23-17 to the Minnesota Vikings. In his 3 seasons as head coach, Saleh compiled a 20-36 regular season record with no playoff appearances leading up to his release. Now, as we move into Arrowhead Stadium, we have the Chiefs versus the New Orleans Saints. And this game was entertaining to watch as you see Derek Carr, my bad, saying Drew Brees. He is not no Drew Brees, throwing that pick to Brian Cook. Brian Cook got his first interception of the season, second on his career. And Derek Carr, making up for what I just said earlier, getting a touchdown to Rashid. Rashid ended up seeing and getting himself his 3rd touchdown of the season. And Patrick Mahomes trying to throw the ball to Juju. And the big man getting the interception, running it down 37 yards. That was former Chiefs player Colin Saunders that got that interception. Big man ran that thing downfield. And of course, you see the Chiefs trying some trickery, getting the touchdown. And that's their rookie Xavier Worthy having a moment with his mom, sitting there with the touchdown. And with that, the Chiefs stay undefeated, winning 26-13. That's all for my sports report. After the break, a multi-million-dollar lottery game is doubling in ticket prices.